I'm Anil Kumar. We are exploring quadratic equations in different forms. Here is a very interesting question. We need to consider the function minus 4x plus 1 whole square plus 16. It has got four parts. The first one is state the equation in factored form. And then we have find equation of x's, calculate maximum minimum value, sketch and label the graph. As you can see, part 3 second, these three parts, second, third and fourth, it is better to do from the given equation, right? F of x equals to minus 4x plus 1 whole square plus 16. It is a vertex form. Easily we can find equation of x's, we can calculate maximum minimum value and also sketch the graph. So that is we should do from the equation itself. Part 1 is state the equation in factored form. We'll look into this in greater details. So what I will do now is first sketch the function, right? And then we'll go for factored form and then complete our graph. So that is the approach which I'm taking for the time being. So let's keep this kind of like this, and I'll start with second, third, fourth. We have the function f of x given to us as equal to minus 4 x plus 1 whole square plus 16. Now from the function we can find what is the x's. X's is minus 1. So first thing is x's. X's is x equals to minus 1. Calculate maximum or minimum value. It opens down, so we have maximum value. Is it okay? Maximum value is 16. So at x's, when I substitute minus 1 here, first term will be 0. I get 16. So that is the maximum value. So these two combined together will give me vertex, right? So vertex of this equation is minus 116, right? So that is the vertex. We also know from the equation negative, that means it opens down, right? That is one thing. Second, this number 4 means steps are 4 times, minus 4 times 1, 3, 5, 7, correct? So like this, these are the steps, and that information helps us to sketch the parabola, right? So let me just make a rough sketch here. We'll finish it at the end. Okay, so we can start with the vertex, which is, we are saying is at minus 1 and 16, and then we have to go down with the steps of minus 4. That means if I move 1 unit to the left, let us say, then I'm going 4 units down. So if I use 1 unit left, I'm going 4 units down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of like this. And from symmetry, that should be my second point. To get the next point, I have to go 12 units down. So next time when I move 1 unit to the right, I actually get 12 units down. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Almost at the end of my sheet, right? That's kind of boundary for me, right? So that is how we have a parabola. So what I'll do here is sketch the parabola. So let me sketch it now as something like this, right? So it is kind of like this, and I'm joining these points further. As you know, this is axis, so this should be symmetrical, and that is how my parabola should look, right? As we just worked out, we kind of know our points, what these points are. This point should be minus 1 plus 1. Moving 1 unit to the right will give me 0, right? So at 0, I moved 4 units down, so minus 4, which is 12, correct? Now next point will be at 1, and that I moved 12 units down. That means that is 0, right? So minus 12, 0. So that happens to be my x-intercepts. Perfect. So from this sketch, I can say this point is minus 1 and 12, and that point will be minus 2 and 0. So minus 2, 0 will be my x-intercepts. So what I could do is I could actually, that is the x-axis, right? And that is my y-intercept, right? So that is my y-intercept. This is my y-axis, and that is kind of graph for me, right? Okay, so let me push it a bit. So that is how we actually get a good graph, approximately. Now let's begin with the first part, which is writing the equation in factored form. So we have the equation f of x equals to minus 4 x plus 1 whole square plus 16. I hope all these steps are absolutely clear. We'll just check upon them later also. Now this is very interesting to write it in factored form. I've seen students expanding this, right? You could expand this. Then you get a trinomial and then you factor. You could do that. But what I'm going to show you is probably a very efficient way of factoring. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor minus 4 first. So if I factor minus 4, I'm left with x plus 1 whole square, right? X plus 1 whole square. And 16 divided by minus 4 gives me minus 4. As you know, minus 4 is 2 square. Let me add one step. Since I've cut down on many steps, I'm trying to add more steps to make it difficult. Minus 2 square, okay? So this reminds you of difference of squares. So I could factor further and then write this as, I hope you understand what I'm saying. This means what is a square minus b square equals to? A square minus b square is a plus b times a minus b. So we'll consider that to be a, right, and 2 as b. So let us factor difference of squares. Now this was group factoring, correct? At stage 1 we did group factoring. Okay, now so a plus b means x plus 1 plus 2, a plus b, times a minus b means x plus 1 minus 2. Perfect. Now we could write this as minus 4. X plus 1 plus 2 is x plus 3. And x plus 1 minus 2 is x minus 1. So we get factored form. Do you see that? So if you begin by in the order, right? So we begin like this. First thing you will do is to factor. We'll factor using my technique. This is excellent, right? It saves you time. Now, once you factor, then you know very clearly x-intercepts are at minus 3 and 1, right? Since x-intercepts are at minus 3 and 1, we can get the x's, right? So we get x's as between these two. So we'll just add them up, minus 3 and 1 divided by 2, and that gives us a value of minus 1, which we started with. Do you see that? X's of minus 1. So we get the x's as minus 1. And then everything is same as we did earlier, right? But factoring helps to find the x-intercepts. Once you find x-intercept, x's is the average of these two values, mid-value, right? So x's gives you symmetry for the parabola, right? So this is symmetry. So we get average of this. Once you get the x's, then you know parabola has the value of vertex on the axis itself. So you substitute minus 1 as we did, evaluate, so you'll get your answer, right? When you substitute minus 1, you get 16, and then we know it opens downwards, and then you can sketch the graph as we did. I hope all this brings your information about quadratic functions together. So highlight of this video is how to factor, right? That is the highlight. And second, use vertex form to sketch. That is my recommendation. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.